Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm Mocky, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. We got a great one today as we're taking a look at the GOAT, Todd McShay. He has a new mock draft now post-combine, and I can't wait to look into it. I haven't looked at it yet. And remember, the purpose of Mock the Mock is take a look at other people's opinions, how they view maybe how a team should pick, or their views on different prospects. It's just kind of open your mind to different possibilities that could happen in the draft, because one thing, being a viewer of the draft, the one thing I do say is never say never when it comes to the NFL draft. But look at that. Y'all know that's going to be a thumbnail. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Couple of predictions I want to just go ahead and throw out there. That, if this is, even if it's a no trades mock, he's probably going to be trading the first pick. I guarantee that. My question is he going to do trades throughout this mock? Because then Arizona becomes an interesting trade spot. But I do project that Jalen Carter might fall in this. I'm kind of curious how far he falls for Todd, because we know Todd was the guy saying, oh, he's got character issues in the locker room. That stuff kind of got disputed. But then we had the reckless driving thing. So I'm kind of curious, how far does he fall? I do expect all four quarterbacks to be off the board by at least pick 9, maybe even pick 7. So I'm kind of curious where they'll fall here. But let's go ahead and get into this, as we do have a trade at pick 1, as we have the Colts trading with the Bears. And I think this is very interesting because the Bears now trade back to 4. And if this is like, if there's no trade at 3, Arizona's taking Will Anderson. So then does Jalen Carter slide here and you just go ahead with Tyree Wilson, because that's kind of the next guy up? Because me personally, I'd still be taking Jalen Carter. I think the drop off in talent is just too much for me. And if I'm trading back to 4 and Will Anderson's not available, I'm taking Jalen Carter if I'm the Bears. That's just where I see it right now. But Colts, they trade up to get their quarterback. Let's see what quarterback that is. And it is, in fact, Bryce Young. He is, for me, the top quarterback in this draft. I don't disagree. They trade up. I think it was like rumors a few weeks ago that the Colts are in on Bryce Young. So this could be the case. Again, rumors, could be just a bit of smoke and mirrors. But for me, Bryce Young is the top quarterback, which means I'm kind of curious. Texans, do they go Anthony Richardson? Do they go CJ Stroud? Do they go Will Levis? Could really be any 3 of those guys. But they take CJ Stroud. I think DeMeco Ryan, you just start this off by getting your franchise quarterback, and then you could fill in the rest of your roster with talented players through the remainder of the draft. I'm kind of now like, okay, does this make Jackson Smith-Njigba pick 12? That I'm kind of fascinated in. But Stroud looked really good during the combine and throwing drills. There's really not much to talk about there. Okay, this is pick 3. What happens? Oh, Arizona keeps it. And they go Will Anderson. Oh my gosh, what's pick 4? Oh, is he going to have a double trade down with the Bears? That could be an option. Or maybe there's no more. But yeah, no, Will Anderson's kind of the top non-quarterback prospect unanimously at this point, given the stuff going on with Jalen Carter. The Cardinals, they really just need talent on that roster, especially defense. Kind of piss poor. They don't have an elite edge rusher there. They have guys they may like in like Myjah Sanders and Cameron Thomas, but you want to add Will Anderson to that, and hopefully one of those 2 guys hit as a edge 2. Maybe both guys hit, and you have a good rotation there. All right, what's pick 4? It's a trade. Oh, I'm glad I mentioned that double trade down possibility. That thing, it just popped into my mind that might happen too. And I'm glad I said it beforehand. All right, so the Raiders move up. This is likely a quarterback. The question is it Anthony Richardson or Will Levis? It's Anthony Richardson. So Josh McDaniel goes ahead, gets his quarterback of the future. Maybe you bring in a Jimmy G and just kind of try to develop Anthony Richardson. So, like, I'm trying to be a bit more open-minded when it comes to the possibility of a Josh McDaniels taking a developmental guy and be like, oh, don't worry, like, I'm not really on the hot seat. I know people think financially they can't get rid of Josh McDaniels. I think if they're awful next year, that it's in the cards, but if you have a guy like Anthony Richardson, you kind of want like the guy who drafted him be the one to develop him. So in my opinion, that kind of buys time. So that's why I'm kind of warming up to that as a possibility. So yeah, so Raiders go full rebuild at this point. Pick 5 is the Seahawks. I don't think they'll go Will Levis. I think if it's Anthony Richardson, I think it's a bit different. You get a younger prospect with a bigger tools. But this is probably Carter or Tyree Wilson. It could be. So let's check it out. It's Tyree Wilson. So, all right, we see the slide for Carter. I'm not going to lie. If I'm the Lions, I think I'm taking Carter. I think I'm just like, all right, screw it. We'll take Carter. We'll take one of the best, like, for a large part of this season, the best non-quarterback prospect for a lot of people was Carter. But Tyree Wilson, they get a cat that has been unpolished as a pass rusher, but he gives you a good versatility in terms of his frame and a very good run defender. So there you go. Yeah, I guess Todd could just go corner here. He does. He goes with Christian Gonzalez. I mean, I'm being straight up. I think I'd roll the die. I'd be like, yo, give me Jalen Carter. He's the best player in this draft. But Christian Gonzalez, they address the corner position. We could also see them in free agency try to do that as well. But Christian Gonzalez had a phenomenal combine. All right, so the Bears trade down and they don't take Jalen Carter. So you trade down twice and you still don't take Jalen Carter. I mean, I imagine with 2 trade downs, you've kind of, now you have a plethora of different first round picks to work with going on. Why not take the swing on Carter here? He's available. Alternatively, this, of course, would be a perfect fit for Carter if Chicago's comfortable with its homework on still unclear off-the-field situation. Oh my gosh, dude. Literally, it's like that's the one thing you could point to, and for me, it's kind of like a dumb kid doing a dumb thing. I don't know. We'll find out more information as the process goes on, but Peter Skoronski comes in. I guess, you play him right tackle? I would take Paris Johnson if I'm trying to sure up the tackle spot. But, I mean, you get one hell of an offensive lineman, a guy that could probably play all 5 spots. So, I guess it's fine, but not necessarily what I would do. All right, Falcons, do they take Carter here? Nolan Smith. Okay, I'm not against this. Like, hey, we want some sick pass rush off the edge. They did just, I think, extend Lorenzo Carter, but that ain't stopping me, bro. That ain't stopping me. Give me this explosive monster in Nolan Smith. I don't mind, honestly, I don't mind him in the top 10 at this point. Tests out great. Kind of like you have the blueprint there with Hassan Reddick. That's kind of the way you want to go with him. They have very similar builds. So, yeah, I mean, pass rush for me is kind of like the biggest answer, or the biggest concern. So Will Levis has to be going here. So Will Levis goes to the Panthers. They don't trade up. They end up getting a quarterback. Will Levis kind of like the last remainder there. So like I said, quarterback's either coming off in the first like 9 or 7 picks. Depends on if trades are involved. But I mean, trades were involved in this. Only the Bears. So apparently only the Bears are allowed to trade in this mock. Let's see if there are any other trades. Pick 10, dude. If I'm the Eagles, you're taking Carter, right? You take Bijan. Yo, Carter ain't sliding like this. But never say never. But they take Bijan. I don't really think that's something. I don't think that's what Roseman's going to do. I know I played with that thought in a mock with Bengal. And again, I've tested. I do mock drafts weekly, so it's like I've been playing around with where can Bijan go, and I've done it so many different spots that guarantee everyone always complains after every mock draft with where Bijan goes for the most part, and it's like I've been changing where he goes every mock draft. Like, get over it, ain't that right, Gojo? He's like, oh, that's right. All right, so they get Bijan. I'm not in love with this. If you're not new to the channel, you know I'm not a big fan of the current value at running back. So it's like, as for defense, the Eagles have another first round pick at 30. Okay, so they get lucky and someone falls for them. Great. All right, let's see where the corners end up going. Paris Johnson goes to Tennessee Titans. That's one everyone's mocking, so that's really no surprise, I think, to me. Everyone and their mom is projecting Paris Johnson to Tennessee, or at least a tackle to Tennessee, so it makes sense to me. This is a team that didn't get good play from their left tackle or left guard position, and they also released Taylor Lewan. All right, the Houston Texans take Jalen Carter. This is where the fall ends. This is absolutely ridiculous value. So much for maybe Jackson Smith and Jigba going here. I mean, this is ridiculous value. Freaking D'Amico Ryans would be sitting here like, all right, so we won the draft. Do we even need to pick the next 6 rounds? We won the draft. We got our quarterback and CJ Stroud, and we got Jalen Carter. It's a hell of a draft for Houston. All right. So actually, this is an important quote from Todd. No one I've spoken to around the league knows how it will impact his stock or what comes next. Well, it's likely Carter falls a little bit. I really don't think that'll happen, but we'll find out. Again, a lot can happen between now and the draft. All right, 13. Broderick Jones, maybe? Yeah, it's Broderick Jones. Okay. Good call. I mean, he's kind of the last remaining of that tier of tackles that could go high, though I would say like guys like Darnell Washington or Darnell Wright, Anton Harrison, DeJuan Jones have kind of like closed the gap, but not significantly enough. I think Broderick Jones is a great pick here. Go ahead, just shore up the O-line. We'll figure out what happens with Aaron Rodgers, if anything happens with Aaron Rodgers. Pick 14. This has got to be a corner. Come on, dude. Corner is such a good value. I get it. You get your shot at the top wide receiver, but like you got Devon Witherspoon, you got Joey Porter sitting there, just there for free. And the Patriots, man, it didn't go well last time. What? N'Keal Harry, and then okay, Terry Glenn. He was fine, but like N'Keal Harry, things didn't go there. Like I know receivers, they really have no playmakers at receiver. Like you're kind of hoping Tyquan Thornton could kind of be this nice like not gadget, but like he could do gadget things, sweeps and whatnot, but he also with his speed stretches the field. Like I don't mind Quentin Johnson here, but man, I really love corner. I really do. All right, let's see. Pick 15 being the Packers. Ooh, this is probably edge, right? Oh no, it's Michael Mayer. Still runs with Michael Mayer, which is fine. I don't think Michael Mayer. I think Michael Mayer still goes in the first round. I think it's going to be the tail end of the first round. I think 15. That's a bit too high. There's better positions of value with edge and corner, even corner. Like I get it. It's not a need, but I think I would consider corner before I consider tight end for the Packers. But like I think edge there kind of makes a lot of sense, but. Yeah, I get it. Robert Tonyan's a free agent. This was going to be corner. It's the best value on the board. Oh, here, let me actually shift this. There we go. Maybe make it a little bigger. Maybe a little more bigger. There we go. But yeah, corner is the best value on the board right now. So I'm kind of cool with that pick here. Devon Witherspoon's a really good value here, so I imagine Joey Porter goes with the next pick. They go Emmanuel Forbes instead of Joey Porter? Dude, Joey Porter had a great combine. Forbes is flying out my board. Dude was 166! Like, I love Forbes. I still think he's like a fringe first, but like, I think his playing weight's going to be closer to like 175, but that's still thin. How you take that over Joey Porter? Ooh, this is interesting. I don't know if I take that over Joey Porter. I say I don't know. No, I know. I wouldn't. I know me, and I ain't doing that. Oh, pick 18. Shoot, man. If the Lions want to be ballsy, go Joey Porter. Just go ahead and shore up the corner. The cornerback room. It's Lucas Van Ness. Okay, so they get that edge player. That'll be a good body on early downs, and he's got experience at 3 tech. You could kick him inside and bring James Houston in, so that's actually a really good pick. All right, Joey Porter's got to be going here. All right, Joey Porter going to Tampa. I was like, dude, this fall's ridiculous. How's Joey Porter the one taking a stumble? So as he puts here, Jameel Dean, Sean Murphy-Bunting, both are free agents. He lists the safeties here, so I guess Brian Branch could be a possibility, though. This means moving Antoine Winfield back to safety. He played slot majority of the time last year, which, I mean, that's fine. You bring in Brian Branch, Antoine Winfield could go back and play at safety. That's A-okay, but Porter's the best value on the board. Seattle Seahawks, you go Osiris Torrance, you go with the receiver. Actually, I bet you Todd does Jackson Smith and Njigba. Oh, he does my boy Miles Murphy. What a pleasant surprise. Wait, they went with Tyree Wilson. Yes, the Seahawks already landed Tyree Wilson earlier in this mock, but adding to the defensive line is the biggest need now that Geno's heading back as quarterback 1. I don't know what that has to even do with it. Ooh, this is a bitch. Because I feel like Tyree Wilson, Miles Murphy, they kind of occupy similar roles. I know there was a typo that I when we were talking about off or defensive line during the combine stuff, that Miles Murphy was 258 and he's actually 268, so a little less concerned about the massive weight drop since it's not really that massive. But yeah, no, they occupy very similar roles. I don't know about that one, Todd. I don't know. So Dolphins originally our pick 21, but we gave it away. I mean, we're bad sneaky crooks is what it is. Can this be receiver? It's still Jordan Addison. Okay, so he still has Addison up there, which is fine. I mean, you were hoping he'd had a better combine, but you talked about he was struggling with a back strain, so his pro day hopefully will be better and he'll get back into the graces of the draft community. But they would love this type of separator, horizontally and vertically. Jackson Smith and Njigba be nice for the Ravens? There it is, Jackson Smith and Njigba. Now that the Ravens, and I'm speaking like, I don't know if we see more. Like, I'm speaking as if Lamar's still with the team. He got the non-exclusive franchise tag. I don't, as of right now, I'm recording this Wednesday, so I don't know if more information's come out to maybe teams that potentially could land Lamar. I kind of did that in a video yesterday where it was like the market actually doesn't look that good, especially for the teams like Washington and Atlanta said, we're not going to be in the Lamar sweepstakes. So it's like, it sounds more and more he'll be with the Ravens. And if they can't get a freaking deal done and he has to play under that stinking non-exclusive franchise tag, at least do him right by getting him weapons. And Jackson Njigba is just that, and he helps out the run game. All right, pick 23 coming in here is the Vikings. Deonte Banks. Dude, Deonte Banks, everyone's penciling him here to the Vikings. I'm cool with that. I think that's all right. I've been mocking him recently, at least in a mock I did him to the Vikings. He's just a really good scheme fit. I don't think he's always tuned in mentally in games, though. I'm gonna kind of reel back on some of that, and because like he's a really good athlete. He's definitely got he's got the build and the athleticism for a guy you want to take a shot on in the first round. So like I'm gonna reel back. It's like I know it's a nitpick I don't like about him, but when it comes to this next tier of corners, which I would consider Cam Smith, Emmanuel Forbes, Keely Ringo, like I think there's bigger concerns with a few of those guys than there is with Banks. So, yeah. All right, 24 Is that the Jacksonville Jaguars? Darnell Wright. I love this pick. All right. Let's talk about this real quick. Darnell Wright going to the Jags. If you want to continue with Cam Robinson and Walker Little, you could start Wright at guard. He has guard experience and kind of a build. Or you could just go ahead and have Darnell Wright play one of the tackle spots. Like, I kind of love this pick. I really like it. All right, Zay Flowers, Giants. Is that the next Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers. Listen, I'm kind of sold on this now that they've invested all this money, at least for the next 2 years, in Daniel Jones. You kind of got to invest in putting playmakers around him. Zay Jones and Wandale, you're getting some scary speed there on the field. So I've come around to really liking this pick. All right, 26 is Dallas Cowboys. All right, with players on the board, man, this pick's always so hard. Brian Brazee could be a thought. Yeah, Brian Brazee would be a thought. There's no receiver I'd want to take here. Corner, Cam Smith. Cam Smith's actually low-key. Like, you could probably take a corner here and feel good about it. I think, Brian. No, the role that Brian Branch... Like, Deron Bland kind of plays the slot. So, Brian Branch, I kind of like as a slot, at least early on. But, I mean, he's very flexible. You don't have to necessarily always use him in the slot. So, I'm going to go with Cam Smith, Brian Branch. It's Dalton Kincaid. I should have mentioned tight end because a lot of people are doing tight end for the Cowboys because Dalton Schultz ain't coming back. But I really think they're probably going to like Peyton Hendershot and... Jake Ferguson, there we go. I think they're going to like those two guys, and I think that's why they're willing to let Dalton Schultz go. Now, I know I mocked a tight end because it was like the best value at that point in the second round to the Cowboys. You can go check out my post-combine 2-round mock. But even in that video, I said I'm pretty sold on that. They're sold on those two young tight ends. So I love Kincaid. I'm not quite sure if he's going to jump Mare yet. I kind of want to wait for his pro day. But yeah, no, they go ahead and get Kincaid. I don't think I'm about that. All right, we have the Buffalo Bills is Osiris Torrance all the way. It's freaking Keon White. What? I would even say DeJuan Jones. I'll be taking Osiris Torrance, so give me Osiris Torrance. Like, Keon, okay. Let's read this because, like, this is kind of a strength for Buffalo, right? Buffalo's roster doesn't have many holes, so it might be best player available, and White is a steal at this point in the first round. I'm not that high on him. Like, I like him better in the second round area, but I'm not that high on him. Okay. Todd says, alternatively, the Bills could shore up the offensive line since both starting tackles are entering their final 2 years under contract. And I mean, dude, like, first off, Spencer Brown has kind of been a bust. Like, not even a bust because wasn't he a 3rd round pick? He hasn't worked out. Your guard positions, kind of pee poo poo. Like, your offensive line consistently let Josh Allen down. I would go with that. All right, next 28 is the Bengals. Oh, I swear if this is tight end, Todd, I swear. Okay, it's Anton Harrison. They get a tackle. I think that's the way to go. So in my 2-round mock, because I've always been doing offensive line for the Bengals, I threw Bijan as a wrench in one mock draft. But last mock, I was like, let's play with this idea that maybe they go tight end. And then I got to round 2, and I was like, there's nothing I want here in terms of offensive line. So I think it makes the most sense for them to go tackle in round 1. So Anton Harrison, good athlete, measured out great. He's working on his play strength. So big fan. I'm happy with the pick here. All right, the Saints. All right, we know Myles Murphy's off the board. I imagine this is Brian Brazee or maybe one of the other interior guys, Kalijah Cansey. For me, it might be Adetomiwa Adibari. Let's see who it is. It's Brian Brazzi. All right. This is great value for him. The Saints, I think, preferably want to go with the interior talent. I think if there's an edge falling on the board, you go with that. You could go with that as well. I think it's defensive line regardless. All right. Pick 30. Is this actually no. Yeah, no, this is the Eagles because they're not including the Dolphins pick in here. So the Eagles, I think they go with one of the defensive interior guys. Let me see Addy Tamiwa. Show it to me. It's freaking Kalijah Kancey. So if you're not new to my channel, then you know that Addy Tamiwa Adibari is my Kalijah Kancey. He is the undersized guy I'd rather bet on rather than Kalijah Kancey, who has got sub 31-inch arms. Instead, you get a guy in Adibari who has 34-inch arms. They're both the same size, and Adibari tested way better. That's my case, but I'm not trying to knock Kancey. Like, I think he's a good prospect. It's just you're really shooting for an exception to the standard, and at least with Adibari, you're a bit closer to that standard. Because he still, people are going to say he's undersized because I think he's, 284. So, the Chiefs, is this DeJuan Jones since Orlando Brown's going to free agency? Oh, no, it's Derek Hall. Derek Hall's fine. I think I like Derek Hall better maybe as a second-round pick at this point. He's kind of been anywhere on my board from, like, a top 75 guy, top 50 guy. He's kind of fluctuated around there, but I think I'm kind of more set on him being a round 2 guy, whether that's maybe slightly inside the top 50 or slightly outside, but Derek Hall's fine. I like that pick. I like going with edge, especially they just got rid of Frank Clark, so it makes all the sense in the world. Gojo's right now growling back here because, oh, man, he wasn't a fan of Frank Clark. Neither was I, man. Frank Clark, too streaky of a player. But I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later. I don't know why I did it like that, but I did. Later.